Do you know my name?
No, no. Ma'am, do not hit me with that.
Hello?
Where'd it go? You see that back there, babe?
There's a light.
There isn't.
Change my routine or...
No, definitely not.
On February 26, 2023, Isabel Page released a new chapter of her travels on YouTube. Known for her unfiltered storytelling, Isabel records both the beauty and hardship of life on the road. This time, she and her partner Logan arrived in Costa Rica, a place defined by heavy humidity, dense jungle, and sleepless nights. The video carries the title, "Why Was I So Scared?" And from the opening moments, it's clear that fear would follow them unexpectedly.
Last night was really rough. We were up all night trying to get the mosquitoes. Apparently we didn't get all of them because my face has a lot of bites on them.
We got probably like 30.
We probably killed like 30 mosquitoes. There was so many. And our little like teepee thing. We're off to get a coffee this morning. We decided to take an alternative route.
Their time in Costa Rica began with discomfort. On the first night, inside a small canvas tent, the air felt stifling and unsettled. Mosquitoes filled the space, keeping them awake until sunrise. Isabel later counted more than 30 bites on her face alone. They killed as many as possible, yet the buzzing continued without pause, leaving her drained and already questioning the choice to be there.
We were both feeling very excited to go somewhere new, and after a long hike out of there and a very long and crowded bus ride, we made it to the airport.
That bus ride, we were taking a chance too because we didn't know if this was the right station. We're trying to get 3 hours south.
About 30 minutes.
Yeah, we slept like 30 minutes last night. I'm exhausted. I had a meltdown at the bus station earlier, crying on the side of the highway.
After 14 hours and 3 different flights and then a 7-hour bus ride, lugging all our things around, it can sometimes make me question whether the benefit of traveling outweighs the struggle. But after what felt like forever, we finally made it to the jungle.
The next morning offered little improvement. Determined to continue, they boarded a bus heading south. It was overwhelmingly crowded. People pressed tightly together, some even clinging to the back as the vehicle jolted through the streets. For Isabel, running on almost no sleep, the ride felt endless. Hours passed amid noise and heat until she broke down. At the bus station, she found herself crying openly beside the highway, uncertain whether continuing the journey made sense. The most frightening moment came later that night.
Before I left for this trip, I was feeling, I don't know why, like so much stress about like kind of dumb things. And I think it was all rooting from being scared to like change my life or like change my routine or get out of my comfort zone, I guess. And I feel like this trip so far has really challenged that and like really helped me to be less scared. Do you think that's done that for you?
I was I was so unnecessarily afraid of a lot of things before this.
I know.
I was afraid to oh, don't.
There has been so many moments throughout the past like month where he said, "Oh, I'm about to die right now."
Oh, there were so many times I was certain.
You were certain.
I was like, I'm dead, and so are you. And
Paleo?
Paleo.
I had an allergic reaction to something, and Logan seriously thought I was about to die.
I was so certain, yeah, because she had like her chest was breaking out and everything.
I was throwing up, and Logan was crying. And
of course, I was crying. I thought you were dead. I was like, oh, you're for sure dead, and this is the end.
We were really far from anything, and like it was the middle of the night, and
that was the worst day maybe ever.
Isabel experienced a sudden allergic reaction. Her chest erupted in rashes, nausea set in, and she began vomiting uncontrollably. Deep in the jungle, far from any hospital, Logan believed he was watching her fade. He cried, convinced she might not survive until morning. For both of them, it became one of the worst nights they had ever endured. Travel through Costa Rica continued to be unforgiving. Isolated dirt roads left them stranded, waiting for a taxi that never arrived. They stood nearly an hour under relentless heat before deciding to walk alone toward town, carrying all their belongings, unsure if anyone would come by. Help finally arrived when a family from San Diego happened to drive past and offered them a ride. From there, the journey shifted toward the coast. A water taxi carried them through winding river channels, a maze of water leading toward the sea. Eventually, they reached Drake Bay, a small, remote village in southern Costa Rica, largely accessible only by boat. Despite the hardships, Isabel found brief moments of wonder. She tasted mangoes so sweet they felt like candy. She learned to cook plantains for the first time. Local markets offered vegetables she hadn't seen since living in Hawaii, along with avocados she described as the best she had ever eaten. Yet beneath those moments lingered exhaustion, homesickness, and a fear she admitted she couldn't fully explain. Viewers quickly noticed the vulnerability in Isabel's story. Many commented on how natural it was to miss one's parents, while others questioned why the fear seemed so intense. Logan's tears during Isabel's reaction raised further questions. Was it simple panic, or did he sense something more in that moment of isolation? The jungle had tested them, but it may have revealed something deeper about the fragility of being far from safety. Isabel herself acknowledged that she didn't fully understand the depth of her fear. Was it exhaustion, homesickness, and uncertainty? Or was it the jungle itself, closing in and amplifying every weakness? Why was she so scared? And could that fear have been the very thing that kept her alive? Offmore Woodland, an area tied to local folklore and repeated accounts of unusual activity, serves as the location for this episode. The footage is recorded on a cold evening, as the host arrives just before dusk. Noting that residents have long reported unexplained voices, sudden temperature drops, strange lights, and the persistent sensation of being observed. Planning to remain past 8:30 p.m. as darkness settles in, he begins by setting up his equipment. K2 meters, motion-triggered lights, and a spirit box.
Welcome back everybody to Black Country Ghost Hunters. We're at a location today called Offmore Woodland, which has gained reputation for supernatural activity. Many strange things have been spotted by locals, various other people which I've spoken to. I'm actually going to wait until 8:30 p.m. where it goes much more darker, but until then I'm going to relax and sip my coffee. If any spirit is present with me, can you come forward and communicate by putting various things on my devices? I have lights placed around. You can communicate with those or put words on my spirit box. Where are we? Woods. Sure that said woods. Yeah, we're in Woodland.
He outlines his intention to wait calmly and observe whether anything interacts with the devices placed around the clearing. The investigation begins alone and controlled, but tension escalates quickly. Almost right away, the K2 meter shows activity, lighting up repeatedly in response to prompts. Requests for stronger, sustained light responses are followed by immediate reactions. That early response establishes an uneasy tone for the rest of the night. As he moves farther into the trees, faint whispers and low, indistinct murmuring can be heard on the audio. The spirit box emits broken word fragments that intensify the discomfort.
Can you make noises around me, like you was doing? For your vlog? Let me replay. It said, for your vlog. We are going to walk around Offmore Woodland, going various places. Grabbing my K2 meter. Let's go. Creepy part, we heard noises, great K2 responses, again strange words. Hello? Walking down sounded like very faint mumbling. Just walking further down, finding places where we can conduct more ghost investigations. If any spirit is still present with us, can you please make yourself known?
The K2 continues to spike at intervals, while the recorder captures soft, distant noises that could be footsteps or movement through brush. Later, dim lights become visible between the trees. The team follows the glow as it moves closer without producing any obvious sound. They consider whether it could be a cyclist or someone carrying a flashlight, but their attempts to get a response received none.
You're crazy what we heard, I tell you. I'm telling you, man. Absolutely weird. Yeah, we keep seeing lights. Hello? Shut up.
Where's the lights go?
Hello?
Oh, it's moving. Oh, it's coming towards us. It's coming towards us. Put the flash on, It's getting closer.
Hello?
What's a bike, I think? It could be a bike, yeah. It's really bright now. But did you not hear the weird noises?
Who's there? This is strange, guys.
I can hear voices.
Can you?
It got closer, and I can hear voices.
Yeah, I can still see faint lights.
Like that. What the flip is this? Hello?
Hello?
It's much closer. What is that? We can't lose track of this.
No, definitely not.
The lights approach, then retreat, leaving the group unsettled. Conversation tightens, and flashlights sweep through the forest without revealing a clear source. As the group continues, a distant scream echoes through the night, followed by an unnatural silence. They soon find themselves near the remains of a church and the surrounding graveyard, an area with no parked vehicles and no visible signs of other people. One investigator reports seeing something rush past, while another experiences a sudden chill. Flashlights scan gravestones and crumbling stonework, yet no clear evidence appears. For the rest of the visit, the team records bangs, rustling sounds, and distorted voices as equipment continues to register sporadic readings. With the growing impression that they may be watched or followed.
Who did we hear screaming? Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, stay where we are. That's great paranormal. What the f***?
It's getting raped.
What? I think we need to grab, one of us go and grab a bit of equipment, gather it all up, and then we go. And then we get ready to go. We've got to go through the church, man, as well. Yeah, no cars are parked. Yeah, nobody around. No cars parked. You tell me where those noises were coming from. Look.
Oh, this is a graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
hell
makes it
no.
even more creepy.
Hell no.
The decision is made to end the investigation. Before leaving, the host states an intention to return for a follow-up, possibly with another team member, and invites viewers to share whether they believe the events suggest paranormal activity or have ordinary explanations. The repeated K2 responses and the timing of the light activity point toward possible interaction with the devices rather than random interference, though natural causes, such as wildlife, distant vehicles, or atmospheric electrical changes, could also account for meter spikes and light movement. The fragmented phrases produced by the spirit box are difficult to assess reliably, as audio pareidolia and background noise can create the illusion of meaningful speech. The appearance and movement of faint lights without audible contact remains one of the more puzzling elements, with explanations ranging from distant flashlights or bike lights obscured by terrain to reflections or optical effects. The presence of a ruined church and graveyard naturally heightens tension, which can influence perception and make ordinary sounds feel threatening. Was this simply a series of explainable signals intensified by the setting and nerves? Or did the team capture something that defies easy explanation? Which moment stood out most to you? The K2 flashes, the spirit box fragments, the drifting lights, or the distant scream? And why? Share your thoughts below. Jordan and Lisa, a van life couple who document their travels on YouTube, had been camping for nearly 5 days on public Bureau of Land Management land near Bryce Canyon, Utah. Their nights up to that point had been quiet and uneventful. On their final evening, they decided to finally launch their drone to capture cinematic views of the sunset and surrounding mountains, footage they hadn't filmed all week. What began as a routine recording moment quickly turned into one of the most uncomfortable and potentially dangerous encounters they had ever faced. As the drone rose into the air, the couple focused on framing the horizon.
Good morning, guys. This weekend we are headed to Bryce Canyon. Do you want to see what happened last night?
So do we have an interesting story for you? We were at our camp. We've been there for the past 5 days, and I haven't flown my drone at all, right? There's this guy that pulled in probably 4 days prior, and he's been parked there all week. Everything was cool, kosher. I got my drone out. I started filming the mountains. I'll show you some of that drone footage after this. And he comes over highly upset, saying that we were flying the drone over his campsite. Which, keep in mind, guys, this is public land.
He came in hot too. He wasn't just like, "Oh, do you mind like not flying your drone? I don't like that." He was like, cursing and like.
Yeah, he didn't ask nicely. Honestly, I probably would have reacted different or responded differently if he would have came over and said, "Hey, you know, I understand you're flying your drone. Could you just not fly over the campsite?" That's not how he came in. He came in hot.
He came in aggressive.
From across the clearing, a man who had been camped nearby suddenly approached their van. Although he had been parked a few hundred feet away all week, they had never interacted with him. Without warning, he confronted them aggressively, alleging that the drone had flown over his campsite.
Hey, is that your drone?
It is.
Sitting right over my camp?
Oh.
It's over here.
I see it's over there. A minute ago it was over my camp.
It literally hasn't gone past my head.
Bullshit.
It literally hasn't.
Bullshit.
I can show you my videos.
Listen, that's
Sir.
where I'm staying. Don't fly your drone over my camp.
You think I care about your camp more than these mountains?
You want me to kick your Is that the best result?
Is that the way you want to go? I mean,
I'll go that way. I don't have a
no
problem
one's
with it.
trying to look into your camp.
We'll put the drone away.
I'm just trying to get these mountains.
That's the answer.
That's not the answer. I'm gonna get a shot.
You put the drone over my camper, I'm gonna kick your.
That's fine. Look, the drone will not go beyond this fan.
It has not a minute ago.
Well, if it did, I apologize. But
You off. I'm gonna kick your so you get it over there again.
Yeah.
You understand?
Sure. I understand.
You had the right answer.
Sorry about that. We'll put the.
I'm
He's
not
just
putting
trying to get the mountain.
I'm just trying to get the mountain. I have nothing
The
to do with
mountain's
this.
over there.
Yes, look,
You just had it over my camp.
because I'm shooting going towards the mountain.
I don't care what you're shooting.
Going towards the mountain.
We'll put
Don't put the drone over my camp. You understand?
We won't put the drone over your.
Just stop talking
Do
to
you
him. Stop
understand?
talking to him. Sir, I told you,
You
it
don't want
won't.
to wipe your
I
up
said
up
it
off
won't
there,
go
sir.
past the van.
Do it again,
Sure.
and I'll you up.
Sure. It
You
won't
want
go
to do
past
the mountain? Do the mountain.
It won't go past the van. I already said that.
Good answer.
I said that before.
Dude, I'll shoot the drone out of the air and I'll cut
Sure.
your ass.
Sure. I won't bring it towards your van.
Good idea.
Yes. I'm not putting the drone away. I'm getting my shot like I was in the first place.
The man accused them of violating his privacy and insisted the aircraft had hovered above his camp, something Jordan knew was untrue, as the drone had never traveled beyond their own vehicle. Jordan attempted to explain calmly that they were filming the landscape, not his site, and noted that drone use was permitted on BLM land. The stranger showed no interest in discussion. His behavior escalated into personal accusations, threats of violence, and claims that he could shoot the drone down. Recognizing how unstable the situation had become, Lisa intervened to de-escalate. Even though they believed they had done nothing wrong, she chose to agree where possible, hoping to calm him enough to leave. After several tense minutes, the man finally withdrew. Shortly afterward, the situation took another unsettling turn.
Yeah, so we ended up just leaving that camp spot last night. It was just safer just not to stick around, and we left.
And then he left, but he left his camper there, which was sketchy. We're like, why is he leaving? And
that's another reason. That's another reason we left.
Like, what is he gonna go get? So
yeah.
we immediately packed up and left.
Guys, I would have flown my drone for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes tops. You know, he's been there all week.
We've been there all week and didn't get one drone shot.
Yeah.
We were just going to get the sunset on our last night, and that was it.
And you know us, guys. We stay on public land. It's not like he paid for this campsite. Like, everything was public. Like, he walked up to where we were camping with no problem, but he kept referring to his campsite as, like, his property. So I was like, okay.
The man drove away in his vehicle but left his camper behind, raising concerns about what he might be retrieving or whether he planned to return. The couple chose not to take risks. They hurriedly packed their belongings, abandoned the site they had called home for days, and drove away into the night.
The first thing we're going to answer is, were we in a national park? No, we weren't in a national park. We weren't in a state park. I was legally able to fly my drone where we were.
We were on public BLM land.
We were completely within our rights to fly where we were. For those of you wondering, I've been flying drones for 2 years. I am trust certified, and my smallest drone does not have to be registered, but my other drone does, so I follow all the FAA rules and regulations. On the DJI app, it has an integrated GPS system, which shows you no-fly zones. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go to the spot that we were at. For those wondering, you see this spot? We're right in here. This is referencing other people that flew their drone in this area.
Later, they explained to viewers that their drone use had been fully legal. They followed FAA regulations, used the DJI app with built-in no-fly zones, and confirmed they were operating in an authorized area. Jordan emphasized his training and experience, making it clear that the flight had not been reckless or invasive. The encounter underscores the tension that can arise when technology like drones clashes with others' expectations of privacy, even on public land. While the couple followed regulations, the neighbor's belief that he was being watched may have fueled his hostility. Whether his reaction stemmed from paranoia, misunderstanding, or personal stress remains unclear. What do you think truly drove the man's aggression? A mistaken sense of violated privacy, or something deeper and more concerning? And if faced with similar hostility in a remote place, would you have stayed to finish filming or left as Jordan and Lisa did? Phil, the creator behind Phil the Thrill, is known for fast-paced POV videos focused on urban exploration, off-road riding, and unexpected encounters. But in August 2020, what began as a routine ATV ride through a wooded area took a disturbing turn. While riding alongside his friend Jimmy, Phil noticed something unusual near a stream.
Jimmy! The trail ends there. We can't go. You see that?
What?
What is that?
What are you talking about? Looks like a supply drop or something.
What do you mean? You mean like a supply drop from Call of Duty?
Yeah, or Fortnite bag on it.
Yeah, it has like a bag and is it open? You want to go look at it? What if there's like supplies in it? Oh, it looks like it just floated downstream. It must have floated downstream, came down the waterfall while the tide was high and the water was strong because it rained last night. Now the water's lower, so it probably just sat here. How do we get this? How do we open it? Open it. Yeah, oh, dude, Easy, be careful with it.
It's heavy.
We don't know what's in it. It could be something dangerous. Open it. I don't think it. Oh, look, stop. It's locked. How are we gonna open it? I want to know what's in it.
Bash it on some rocks or something.
Bash it against the rock?
Here, you pick up that side. We'll throw it.
You want to bash it against the rock?
Yeah. One.
Oh, don't. Oh, wait, all right. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna do anything. Just beat the heck out of it. Maybe it will open. Let me see.
Take a note or something.
Oh, what the heck? I can't read it. I don't know how to read. Can you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it. With sadness, I'm writing this letter because I can no longer take care of her. I thought this could be the best way to give her a new life and home. Please take care of her.
Is it like a dog? It says it's a her.
Her or something.
That means it's a dog.
It's not making noise.
You think there's something alive in there?
I don't know.
How is it gonna breathe if it's alive?
Resting at the water's edge was a large, sealed container. Heavy, battered, and clearly out of place. It looked almost intentional, like a dropped supply crate. Curiosity led them to stop and examine it more closely. The container appeared to have been carried downstream, possibly loosened by recent rainfall. Its surface was dented and scratched, marked by signs of impact from rocks and rushing water. Phil and Jimmy tried to open it on the spot, but the lock wouldn't budge. When they noticed small openings that could allow air to pass through, a troubling thought emerged. Something inside might still be alive. Unable to access it in the woods, they secured the container to the ATV and began heading home. The trip was cut short by an encounter with a woman from a nearby neighborhood.
What's wrong?
Why are you driving so fast? I'm doing the water.
I'm going the speed limit.
No, you don't. No, I'm gonna call you parents.
My parents?
Yes.
For what?
You've been driving this all day long.
Why are you gonna call my mom? Please don't.
You can drive this here. Cause kids playing over there, the kids playing over there, the school is over there.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Please don't tell my mom. My mom's gonna spank me.
I'm gonna go tell you that right now.
No. Please. My parents are gonna spank me if you do that.
Tell me, what are you doing here all day long?
Why do you care if I ride my quad on the road?
Because you can't drive in here. You have to go to the woods.
I try to. I mean, like, I'm just trying to get home right now.
In the back something, and maybe I want to look.
Why do you want? No, it's my box. You can't look inside of it.
I don't know. This is the neighborhood with the kids, old people.
There's like no kids on the street. There's like a completely empty street.
Yeah, look over there.
Where? What do you mean? Yeah. There's like no one here. There's like no one there. It's empty. Kids aren't allowed to go to school right now.
Playing. And some is over there too. Look, all the kids is over there. You here, I don't know what you do with that quad. Who that quad?
Well, it's my quad. Yeah.
Where do you get this from?
My parents bought it for me.
Your parents?
Yeah.
I don't even see your parents around here.
I'm gonna go. I can't go down here?
No.
Why not?
Because you can go.
What are you doing? Whoa. Don't hit me with that. Are you crazy?
Go. Well, this way. You have to go back.
But my house is that way. I have to go that way.
You can't go over there. You have to go back.
Why? What's wrong with you? No. Ma'am, do not hit me with that.
You're not part of it.
Okay, I'll turn.
She objected to them riding along the road, accused Phil of unsafe behavior, and demanded to know what the container held. When Phil refused to let her inspect it, the situation escalated. The woman became increasingly hostile, eventually threatening him with a stick. Phil changed direction to avoid further confrontation. After finally returning, they carefully opened the container. What they discovered inside left them stunned.
This knife is just freshly sharpened. There we go. Lock is undone. Yeah, they really tied this up nice. Now just pull everything out. Pull it all out. Pull it off. Let's see what's in here. What the?
Whoa.
There's a baby in here?
What the hell?
Wait. What are we gonna do with this?
Weird.
How is it?
It's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's a cute baby.
I wonder what her name is.
All right, let's take her out. Here, it's okay. Look, it's okay. She.
Can I grab her?
Yeah, grab her. Yeah, take her out. It's okay.
Whoa. What the hell?
What's wrong?
What is this? Oh my god.
Beneath layers of fabric was a small child, alive, quiet, and unharmed. Phil later stated that he immediately contacted local authorities, who were able to safely reunite the child with her family. He explained that police instructed him not to record the call or capture additional footage related to the incident, a detail that fueled speculation online. Audience reaction was divided. Some viewed the video as documentation of a remarkable rescue, while others questioned its legitimacy, pointing to the child's calm behavior and the absence of official footage. Was it a genuine emergency captured by chance, or a carefully constructed scenario meant to draw attention? Regardless of interpretation, the underlying message remains unsettling. Vulnerable lives can be placed in unimaginable circumstances, and the response in those moments can change everything. Yet one question remains: was Phil simply in the right place at the right time? Or was this discovery never meant to be found? Keep watching. Some things are left behind for a reason. In a video titled "Stealth Truck Camping at a Walmart," Luke, the creator behind the Outdoor Gear Review, documents his latest attempt at urban stealth camping. The objective is simple: spend the night discreetly in the back of his Toyota Tundra while parked in a public space, specifically a Walmart parking lot. Luke begins by showcasing a practical modification to his setup. He explains how a full-size cot can now fit behind the driver's seat after a minor adjustment, removing one support bar. The change creates just enough room to lie flat, and the setup reminds him of earlier years when unplanned trips were common. After surveying several possible places to park overnight, including a gas station, Luke settles on the Walmart lot. It's spacious, mostly empty, and initially feels like the safest option. With his sleeping area prepared, he heads out to get dinner. Although he considers buying food inside Walmart, he ultimately stops at a nearby Taco Bell. When he returns, the hard-shell tacos have softened, but it doesn't bother him. He eats, relaxes, and prepares to sleep. At around 3 a.m., the calm is broken. Luke wakes to the sound of a man moving through the parking lot, singing loudly. At first, the noise resembles a spiritual chant, but it soon becomes clear that the words are mixed with profanity and incoherent rambling. The man never approaches the truck directly, but he lingers nearby, shouting toward dumpsters, gesturing erratically, and wandering without a clear path for hours. From inside the vehicle, Luke observes quietly, choosing not to draw attention or interact. Camping in public spaces often brings unpredictability, and this night was no exception. The late-night presence serves as a reminder that unusual behavior can occur even in familiar locations like a Walmart parking lot. Whether the man was intoxicated, experiencing mental health struggles, or simply passing through remains unclear, but it was a situation best avoided. Despite the disturbance, Luke manages to sleep better than expected and wakes up with an experience to share. Nothing dangerous ultimately occurred, but the mix of silence and erratic shouting left a lasting impression. And it raises a question. When you camp in plain sight, who's really watching whom? Stay tuned, because the most unexpected moments often happen when you feel the safest. Window camping, an Indian YouTuber known for documenting his outdoor trips, set out on what was meant to be a quiet solo camp deep within a dense, rugged forest. As evening approached, he pitched his tent and prepared for the night, unaware that something out of the ordinary was about to occur. The location was remote and still, the silence heavy. Although he had begun the journey alone, a growing sense of unease settled in as darkness took hold.
आंखें दिख रही है आंखें हो ये सुना आपने कितनी भयंकर आवाज है वहां सामने लेपर्ड की आंखें दिख रही है ये देखिए हो ये देखो भाई सामने देखो दिख रही होगी आपको सामने वो देखिए वो जा रही आंखें कितनी भयंकर तरीके से गुर्रा है बिल्कुल देखिए देखिए इधर अपना कैंप है और देखिए हो
It started with subtle movement in the brush, low growling sounds drifting through the trees. At first, he assumed it was a nearby animal passing through, but the noises intensified, becoming louder and more purposeful. Something was close. He activated his camera, attempting to capture what he could hear and glimpse through the mesh window of the tent. The sounds did not fade. Instead, they escalated. Movement could be heard circling the campsite.
कोई चीज है हो अभी मुझे थोड़ी देर पहले भी लगा कि किसी चीज ने टेंट हिलाया और देखिए टेंट हिलाया मैं सो गया था मुझे नींद आ गई और मुझे लगा जैसे किसी ने टेंट हिलाया हो और मैंने कैमरा चालू किया था और देखिए आपके सामने है ये सुनिए गाइस ये एक लेपर्ड की आवाज नहीं है एक लेपर्ड नहीं है देखिए दो लेपर्ड की आवाज गुर्राने की देखिए एक साथ दो लेपर्ड की हो गाइस ये एक लेपर्ड नहीं है तो ये तो दो लेपर्ड की है लगता है लेपर्ड का ग्रुप है पक्का तो
At one point, the tent shifted slightly, as if brushed by something substantial. Peering into the darkness, he noticed the reflection of eyes, two distinct pairs. The realization was immediate. There was more than one animal nearby, and they were leopards. Knowing that sudden movement could trigger an attack, he chose to remain completely still. Reaching his vehicle was impossible. He was surrounded. The forest, once calm, now felt charged with danger. He remained inside the tent throughout the night, barely moving, barely breathing. Only when daylight arrived and the growling ceased did he allow himself to move. By then, the leopards were gone. The encounter underscores the dangers of camping alone in predator territory. The growls, the eye shine, and the slight movement of the tent suggest the animals were not merely passing through, they were investigating. Whether drawn by scent or curiosity, their presence served as a reminder that in the wild, humans are never truly alone. He left without injury, but not unchanged. And it raises a question. What if he had not stayed silent? What if a single sound had shifted the outcome? In the wilderness, sometimes the only thing separating survival from disaster is silence. That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story? Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.